Today, we're diving into a fascinating question. What if you had all the money in the world? At first glance, it sounds like the ultimate dream. Endless wealth, unlimited power, and living life like a billionaire on steroids. But once we break it down, the truth might surprise you. And maybe even terrify you. So, stick around until the end, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our mind-bending videos here on What If World. People often say, if I had all the money in the world, as a way of imagining life without financial limits. Maybe you'd buy mansions, private jets, or even your own island. But let's get technical. Money isn't just cash. Most of the world's wealth exists in land, property, stocks, businesses, and digital currencies. So even if you magically rewrote every bank record to say you own it all, the rest of the world would simply disagree and undo it. That's the first harsh truth. Money only works because people agree it has value. Without cooperation, your ownership is just numbers on a screen. Okay, let's keep it simpler. Let's say you had a magic spell that summoned all of the world's physical money, coins and banknotes, into one giant pile. At any given time, the world has over $10 trillion in physical currency. That's an amount so massive, it's hard to even picture. This pile of cash would tower taller than the Statue of Liberty and weigh more than the Empire State Building. And here's the scary part. Most of that weight isn't in bills, it's in coins, especially US pennies. There are over 200 billion pennies in circulation, weighing 500,000 tons. And while pennies are basically useless in real life, in this scenario, they could be deadly. Now, imagine this mountain of money doesn't stay neatly stacked. Like molasses in the 1919 Boston molasses disaster, the pile collapses and spreads. Instead of sticky syrup, though, you've got a tsunami of coins. Pennies, nickels, euros, loonies, all rushing outward at unstoppable speed. The wave destroys everything in its path: cars, buildings, even entire city blocks. Within seconds, you're swallowed by billions of coins. Not exactly the glamorous ending you imagined when wishing for infinite money. So, having all the world's cash in one spot. That's less like winning the lottery and more like staging the world's deadliest avalanche. What if you tried to outsmart this disaster? Maybe you build a giant vault or a wall to contain the coins before summoning them. Well, good luck with that. The sheer weight of trillions of dollars would crush most structures. In fact, in places like Manhattan, even skyscrapers need special ground conditions to avoid sinking. According to NYC building codes, a vault holding this much weight would violate load-bearing laws. Basically, your dream vault would collapse into the ground like quicksand. So unless you bribe officials like Scrooge McDuck, your money pool isn't going to pass inspection. But let's imagine you somehow survived the avalanche and built an indestructible vault. Congratulations, you now have all the money in the world. Except, it's worthless. Why? Because the second you take money out of circulation, everyone else has none. Shops can't operate, banks shut down, and economies grind to a halt. With no trade or trust, society collapses. Money only has power when it flows. By hoarding it all, you've accidentally destroyed its very purpose. You're left with a mountain of paper and coins, but nothing to buy, no food, no electricity, no internet. It's like owning all the monopoly money in the world. Fun to look at, but completely useless. So, what if instead of magically summoning all the money, you became the richest person alive the normal way, through business, innovation, or sheer luck? History gives us some clues. Think about billionaires today. Even with fortunes of hundreds of billions, they can't just buy the world. They're still limited by laws, governments, and public trust. Sure, they live in luxury, but they don't own everything. In fact, If they tried to take everything, society would revolt. People value freedom and fairness more than seeing one person hold it all. So ironically, the happiest scenario isn't about hoarding every dollar. It's about having enough and using it wisely. So, what if you had all the money in the world? Physically, it would crush you in a tsunami of coins. Economically, it would collapse society. Practically, it would leave you with nothing of real value. The truth is, money works only when it's shared. It's not about owning it all, it's about how we use it together. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real treasure. Thanks for joining us on this mind-bending journey through What If World. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications bells so you don't miss our next adventure into the impossible. Because here in What If World, the only limit is imagination.